song that kicked off the heaviest, most influential hard rock band of all time. Consequently, this masterful piece also introduced me to the artists that would drastically change my life forever. While their story begins in 1968 with Good Times, Bad Times, Led Zeppelin's legacy will live on for eternity. I'm Anthony Romano, and I'm going to explore my personal history with Led Zeppelin.
Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a brown-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care.
My story begins in middle school. When I was in elementary school, I was a wayward music listener. I only knew the big pop artists, mostly because that's the kind of crap my sister listened to at the time. I'll even shamefully admit that I was a massive Backstreet Boys fan in my younger days. But that changed when my dad started introducing me to classic rock in middle school. The first truly great artist I was introduced to was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. You gotta love Tom.
It's alright if you love me.
Then it was Queen. Now Queen was my obsession for almost all of middle school. My dad loved them when he was younger, and he introduced me to them at a perfect time in my life. I remember buying their box set and listening to all their music. The interesting thing about that is that Queen was noticeably much harder than Tom Petty, which is something I'm not sure a lot of people realize. Now the reason I bring all this up is because my dad was slowly introducing me to harder music. Next was Boston, then The Who. I remember thinking that nothing could top the hard and heavy sound of The Who. It came to the point when The Who overtook Queen as my favorite classic rock band during middle school, and it would stay like this until my first year of high school.
Inside, can't explain, certain kind, can't explain. I feel hot and cold, can't explain. Lay down my soul, yeah.
The year was 2007. I was a freshman in high school. One Sunday night, my sister had to take me and my brothers to church since we overslept and missed morning mass. Before we got in the car, my dad handed me a CD. I looked at the cover. It had radiant and beautiful red and black cover art, and I saw the title of the album, Mothership. At first glance, I wasn't sure who this artist was, but then I saw the name of the band, Led Zeppelin. It was their greatest hits collection that had just recently come out. I always loved when my dad would go buy new remastered CDs of older bands because it was like unlocking a whole new world for me. I will never forget for as long as I live. My dad handed me the CD and told me to listen to it on the way to church. I thought, okay, I've heard of Led Zeppelin, I'll give him a shot. I looked at my dad and asked, am I going to like it? He laughed and smiled at me, and in what is the biggest understatement of my entire life, he said, you're going to like it. So we get in the car and I pop the first disc into my CD player. Yes, we still had CD players in 2007, unfortunately. But what happened next would change my life forever. That intense opening riff that was like a 1-2 punch. The incredible, gritty sound of the guitar. The out-of-this-world drumming. The groundbreaking bass. And of course, that unparalleled, shrill yet incredible voice. This song took such an incredible hold over me that the second it ended, I had to go back and listen to it again just to make sure I wasn't dreaming. It was the greatest song I had ever heard at that point in my life. But then, as if shaken out of a dream, we arrived at church. I could not fathom going into that place, which was usually how I felt about church, but now more than ever. I don't pretend to remember what happened during church that evening, but while Jesus was out and about making miracles and preaching words of wisdom, my head was filled with high-pitched voices, gritty guitar solos, unbelievable bass lines, and astonishing drum beats. From that day on, Led Zeppelin was my new religion. In fact, I had more of a religious experience listening to Led Zeppelin than I ever had during church. As soon as I got home that night, I immediately bought every Zeppelin song ever made off of iTunes, and for the next year, I delved deep into the world of Led Zeppelin. I read all about their history, I worshipped each band member, and I had found my favorite artist. These days, 8 years later, I can't even decide which Zeppelin song is my favorite. They are all perfect, and I say that without hyperbole. There is not one Zeppelin song that I do not like out of their entire discography. But, for the record, and just to sit back, relax, and listen for a moment, this is one of the most undeniably perfect moments in all of music, and is certainly one of my top favorites. I never forgot, nor will I ever forget, where my love for Led Zeppelin began. It started with my dad. I will always be thankful that my dad is responsible for introducing me to Led Zeppelin and my passion for them. When I think about my love for Led Zeppelin, I also think first and foremost about my dad and how thankful I am for everything he does for me and how lucky I am to have him. My love for Led Zeppelin is as much a story about a love for music as it is about the love I have for my dad. But I don't want to end on a lovey-dovey mushy note, so thanks for listening, and keep on rocking and rolling. I leave you now with the greatest rock anthem ever made.